Welcome to Craig's Gun Channel. Today we're going to cover the Ruger Lightweight Compact Pistol, or LCP. Ruger released the LCP in 2008 due to consumer demand for small, lightweight firearms following an increasing trend in concealed carry, as well as continuing demand from law enforcement wanting reliable, easily concealable backup firearms. The LCP delivers on those needs. It's a small-framed semi-auto pistol and .380 ACP that holds 6+1 rounds, is just over 5 inches long and 3.6 inches high, with the width of only 0.82 inches and a weight of just over 9 ounces. It features a glass-filled nylon frame with smoothed contours that, when combined with its small profile, allows it to be carried in a variety of concealed carry options. The hardened steel slide features integral fixed sights, it has a recessed hammer, and there is no safety, relying instead on the long double-action style trigger pull. While the slide does not lock open on the last round, it does have a manual slide lock. When originally offered, you could have it in any color you wanted, as long as that was black. But again, due to consumer demand, it's now available in a variety of colors and finishes, with some of them customized and limited to specific dealers. Let's take a closer look. As always, we'll start with a safety check to make sure the firearm is in fact safe. So we'll go ahead and lock the slide back, remove the magazine. As we can see, the magazine is empty and clear. The firearm is empty and clear. There's no ammunition in the chamber. So we're safe to go ahead and start talking about the controls and features of the Ruger LCP. The Ruger LCP is a simplified self-defense pistol. The only real controls, you have a magazine release here. By pushing in on that, it releases the magazine. You have a manual slide lock. This does not lock open on the last round fired. You have a trigger, which is a hybrid double action only trigger. It is a hammer fired firearm. If you notice right here, that's actually the hammer. And when you pull the trigger, see if you can see that, it will pull the hammer back and then release it. Now I say it's a hybrid because once that does that the first time, pulling the trigger again won't do anything. The function of the slide will actually pre-cock the trigger, the springs, even though it's not fully cocked. And as you can see, the hammer is actually now in the at-rest position. However, the hammer springs are partially cocked now from the slide action. So as far as disassembly, we'll first remove the magazine. This is the disassembly pin here, and if you flip it over, you can kind of see there is no provision for pushing it out. The way it works, and you actually just have to kind of rely on it. It doesn't seem right when you first do it. Just push the slide back just a tiny bit, and that's mostly just to kind of disengage the barrel from the pin. And then you want to simply pry up just slightly on that pin, and then you can remove it. Once it's removed, the slide comes off the front of the frame. So the frame itself, we have our hammer there. This is as far as you really want to disassemble this. So as far as cleaning, you'd want to clean the rails on both sides, clean everything out on the inside, give it a light coating of oil to help with operation, and then that's pretty much it with the frame. On the slide, we have our recoil spring. This actually has 2 nested springs. They're not captive, and then there's a guide rod that goes in between. There's a little plunger head that locks into a saddle on the barrel. So to release it, you would simply push forward and lift up slightly. So forward and lift up, and then that releases the spring, so you can set that aside. The barrel achieves lockup via the block that's on the barrel. It locks into the slide, so at this point it's locked. As soon as the slide would start to go back, the pin, if you could envision it, would be right here. When the slide comes back, it pulls the barrel down with that little ramp. That pulls the barrel down and unlocks it, so then the slide could continue to come back. So then you can just remove the barrel, As far as the firearm itself, we have our extractor right there. It is an external extractor. So you'd want to clean the bolt face or breech face. Clean all the rails. Just basically clean everything out. This is really as far as you disassemble this. And I forgot to point out that little protuberance right there is actually the ejector on this. That rides up through this little rail here and would then push on the bottom edge of the cartridge, which would then kick it out of the top when you're firing it. So that's really as far as you'd want to take it apart. You'd want to clean the barrel both inside and out. The feed ramp is integral to the barrel. You want to make sure that's nice and clean. You want to clean the section right here. This is where the pin goes, and utilizing this ramp is what will basically pull the barrel up and down to lock or unlock it from the slide. So reassembly is really just kind of the opposite. So you put the barrel in, put the spring into its recess, the recess right there, put the spring in, the large plunger head, you can see the saddle right there, will go into that saddle. So you just push in, put the plunger head on it. Now there's not a whole lot holding that on there, so try to avoid dropping this at this point, because if that gets much of a jostle, of course that could pop out, and then you've got springs and pins flying everywhere. They're not super tiny, so you'll probably be able to find them. It just, adds some excitement to your day you probably don't need. The slide rails and the channels on the slide, you would line those up and then just pull it back. Just push it back slightly. The pin, and if you can kind of see, there's a little spring bar right there. And the way that locks in is on the pin itself, there's a little indentation, goes all the way around the pin, like a little slightly smaller circumference. That spring bar will lock into that pin. So really you just need to kind of tilt it down under there, and then just pull the slide back a slightly bit just to get it unlocked, and then push it in, and then it is reassembled. Function check it to make sure, and we're reassembled. The Ruger LCP, due to its small size, has a rather snappy recoil that takes a little getting used to, and it's not a pistol that you'll want to shoot a lot for recreation. However, it fills the needs for concealed carry very well and is an excellent option for that. In fact, before moving to a 9mm, the LCP was my primary carry firearm. Shortly after the pistol was introduced, there was a recall on some of them due to the possibility of some of the early production guns unintentionally discharging if dropped on a hard surface. The recall impacted firearms with serial number prefixes under 371. If your firearm was subject to the recall and was corrected, there should be a diamond mark on the frame behind the hammer. I hope that this information is of value, and if you liked the video, I would ask that you hit the like button, and please subscribe if you want to continue to see more like this. I value your comments and feedback, and as always, until next time, stay safe.